Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc, where we bring natural solutions, cutting-edge research, and real-life stories to help bring you hope. My name is Becca Dukes. As the host and producer of this show, it is my honor and privilege to welcome each and every one of you to Daily with Doc and Becca. So let's go ahead and make sure we open up that waiting room, as yes, we are a live Zoom here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific, 1 to 2 Mountain, 2 to 3 Central, and 3 to 4 Eastern. So welcome, everybody. If you're here live with us, make sure you're paying attention to that profile called Smile and that you have your chat on. So folks, everybody, welcome. Again, my name is Becca Dukes. This program is being sponsored by DailyWithDoc.com, and if somebody could mute somebody, that'd be great. I am a certified naturopathic practitioner and holistic health coach, the director of student services for the Institute of Holistic Health, and I am so glad that you've joined us. So this show is not just a podcast. It's actually a growing resource for an amazing community of individuals who love to share information to empower people to find a better health journey. So if you were invited to this program by somebody specific, you want to make sure that you get back with them. Tell them thank you for sharing this program, and also say, hey, how can I find a better health journey? Can you help me? Well, if that individual can't help you and they're not associated with longevity, feel free to give us a call at 949-3377. But if that person says, yes, absolutely, they are your point of contact. So I want to make sure that you get back with the right person. Now, today is Pharmacist Fridays, and I am honored to welcome back one of my favorite pharmacists in the whole wide world, who is absolutely brilliant, folks. He's nationally recognized as a pharmacist, a cosmetic chemist, a nutritionist, and is a founder of a company called Truth Treatments. He's been a leading voice in the natural health movement, helping people unlock the body's hidden ability to support wellness through science-based nutrition and simple, effective strategies. So please help me welcome to the screen Pharmacist Ben Fuchs. Hello, Pharmacist Ben.
Hello, Becca. Hello, Becca and everybody. What do you mean one of your favorite pharmacists? What is that supposed to mean? Do I have competition?
So you are absolutely
Yeah, that's better. That's what I want to hear, not one of. What do you mean?
Well, I know a handful of pharmacists.
No, but
characteristics. You are by far my favorite.
That's more like it. That's what I want to hear. And by the way, what happened to the don't pay any attention to us because we don't know what we're talking about, and make sure that you ask your genius doctor because he's a real genius and we're just the dummies. I forgot. Did you say that? I didn't hear that.
This program is for educational purposes only.
There we go. There we go.
Care physician, nor is it meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease.
There we
go.
So,
folks, if you're looking to be empowered and not be held back by a system that may be failing you, which it's a system that's needed, especially in emergency situations, right?
There's times, and I'm teasing you a little bit. Obviously, I'm being facetious, but really, there's an implicit message when we say that, and there's this idea out there that, yeah, it's cute, it's fun, we're talking about nutrition and doctors are bad, and there's this idea, but when we're sick, we go to the doctor. At the end of the day, I got a rash, I'm going to the doctor. That's really what happens because we are convinced that the medical model knows what it's doing, despite all evidence to the contrary. Despite the famous, well-known saying that the definition of insanity is
doing the same thing over and over again, expecting
push comes to shove. We do that because we somehow, understandably, believe that we're not capable of doing this, that this is kind of cute and fun and games, but when it comes to real serious issues, you get doctored. And so I tease you a little bit, but it's important that we recognize that this is the operating system, the transparent operating system that most of us, if not all of us, probably a few people on this call, yourself, myself, and people who are really enmeshed in the longevity culture, understand most people, when push comes to shove, will interact with the medical model and they'll listen to, Dead Doc, Daily with Doc, Zoom.com, and do all the things about nutrition, maybe get on the websites and participate. But when they get something goes wrong with their body, they'll interact with the medical model. I'm here to tell you, it's not equipped to take care of it. The medical model's not equipped to take care of chronic degenerative disease. It's not that they're dumb. It's not like doctors are dumb. It's not like medical folks are dumb. It's not like they're mean. It's not like their agenda is to kill us. They mean well. They're intelligent. They're not out to kill us, but they're not equipped to handle the bulk of our health challenges, which goes by the term chronic degenerative disease. And so it's simply a matter of skill set. I don't care how good your carpenter is. If he tries to fix your engine, he's going to take a hammer and nail and destroy your transmission. And he might be the best carpenter ever. And he might be great at building furniture, but he can't fix your car. And likewise, a medical representative of the medical model might be great at putting your bones back together again. God forbid you get into an accident, a car accident, you fall, whatever it is. But he's not equipped. He's not equipped. There's nobody that will deny this. They won't deny this. They're not equipped to deal with chronic degenerative disease, which at the end of the day are lifestyle-based. They should change it from chronic degenerative disease to lifestyle diseases because that's what they are. The leading cause of death in this country, what do you think the leading cause of death in this country is?
Medical malpractice, I
No,
know
no,
is
no.
toward
In terms of pathologies, in terms of diseases.
from towards of diseases. I
Anybody
mean,
know?
you're
Heart
cancer,
disease.
Heart disease. Bingo. What's the second one?
kidney disease,
No. You know what it is. If I tell you, you'll know. Cancer.
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 Heart disease, cancer. What's third? Diabetes. Well, I'm here to tell you that because cancer and heart disease are both related to dysglycemia, messed up blood sugar, and diabetes clearly is dysglycemia, are leading causes of death by far, by far. Not even close. Nothing's even close. Well over 60, 70% of our mortality is caused by blood sugar issues, dysglycemia, metabolic syndrome, whatever you want to call it. And clearly that's an eating issue. There couldn't be anything that says screams lifestyle more than that. Everything. And I'm going to do it till the day I die, but I'll continue repeating myself. But sometimes I say the same thing. I say the same thing over and over and over again. Do I not say that? Have you ever heard me say anything different? It's
No.
always the same thing. It's always the same thing. It's the blood. Leviticus tells us the life of the body is in the blood. The life of the flesh is in the blood. All disease is cell disease, and all cell disease is preceded by dirty blood. How does the blood become dirty aside from injection, which is a thing, especially recently? It's through the intestine. It's so simple. Maybe not easy, but simple. It's not because I'm a food guy. You know, I even repeat the same jokes, by the way, because it's all just repetitive. You know, what's the greatest invention in the history of man? History of recorded of humankind. What's the greatest invention?
Electricity.
No. What gets the credit for being the? It's kind of it's a meme. What's the greatest invention? The wheel, right? Right.
The
AJ
wheel.
AJ says the
Okay.
wheel. I don't think so. I think it's the lever. The lever allows you to get huge results from a little move. That's what leverage is. Leverage
Mhm.
means a little move gives you big results. The lever is when you can move a huge boulder with a little bit of pressure on the other side of the lever. That's what makes levers so fantastic. I think the lever is the greatest invention, arguably. What we're talking about here is a lever. We're talking about here is leverage. We're talking about a small move that gives you huge results. And if you don't believe me, if it, for whatever reason, stop, and you're dealing with a chronic degenerative disease, stop eating. Almost always, within a day or even less, you'll notice your symptoms start to improve. Now, obviously, you have to keep eating, but this just shows you have to start eating again. Can't not eat forever, but this just shows you the impact. If logic is not enough, if the logic of dirty blood is not enough, if the logic of leaky gut is not enough, if the logic of intestinal dysbiosis or intestinal malabsorption or intestinal toxicity is not enough, just stop eating. I think it's perfectly logical, but it's just stop eating and watch what happens. Read the Walls Protocol. Dr. Terry Walls cured herself of multiple sclerosis. MD, Dr. Terry Walls, cured herself of multiple sclerosis. Incurable. No known cause. Your mother had it, so you're going to have it. You're going to be on this drug the rest of your life. All we can do is shut down the inflammation. We can't help you. Dr. Terry Walls cured herself. Doctor, MD, wrote a book, The Walls Protocol. So really, this is not complicated. My message is it's simple. You said something really interesting at the beginning of when you did your introduction. You said the latest cutting edge technology. Guess what? There ain't nothing latest or cutting edge about this. This is about as old as it gets. Hippocrates, 100 BC, before Christ, 2,000 plus years ago, talked about. There ain't nothing cutting edge about this. Nothing. And you don't need to have anything cutting edge because the body has been around for 2 million years. And what was true 2 million years ago is true today. There ain't nothing cutting edge. There's nothing new about this. This is about as old as it gets. Change the way you eat. You will change the way your body shows up because what do you think this stuff is made of? Hamburger, pizza, candy bars, lettuce, broccoli, whatever. That's what this is made of. I mean, sit with that for a second. I mean, when you think about it, right? Becca, I'm looking at you because I can't really see anybody else. I'm talking to you. Isn't that amazing? This is made up of yesterday's lunch. Doesn't that make yesterday's lunch? Doesn't that
Really important.
elevate it? It's so important because this is how we're made up. This should not be complicated, but yet, and it's not complicated, but yet we are victims of a virus, a mind virus, the worst kind of virus there is. Now, today, the word meme, M-E-M-E, is like a funny cartoon. But a meme is a unit of memory. That's where we get the meme. Like a gene is a unit of genetics, a meme is a unit of memory. Memes are ideas that are transmitted through the culture, oblivious to the transmitter. The transmitter in science is called the vector. A meme is a virus that is only goal in life is to replicate, like all viruses, whether it's a virus in your computer, a virus in your body, or a virus in your mind. Its only goal is to replicate regardless of the vector. It doesn't care. Your computer virus doesn't care about your hard drive. All it wants to do is spread to your contact list. The virus in your body doesn't care about your body yet. All it wants to do is spread to your friends and families and neighbors and throughout the society. That's what a virus is. Mind virus is the same darn thing. It doesn't care about you. It just wants to spread. And the master inoculators of viral viruses into the culture are marketers and advertisers. And if you ever say something you don't know where you got the idea from, you've been infected. If you ever say, I got a cold, I'm going to the doctor to get an antibiotic, you've been infected. If you say, I got high blood pressure, I'm going to go get a beta blocker from the doctor, you've been infected. If you think the 4 food groups are going to keep you healthy, you've been infected. If you think that if you're walking down the street and you start whistling the McDonald's jingle, you've been infected. Think of all the ways we're infected by mind viruses. Think of all the ways we do things and we don't know why we do them. Spontaneously and automatically. Infection. And really, I feel very passionate about this, as you can tell, but we should really all be this way. We should be so angry. And I always use McDonald's as an icon, but it's not just them. It's all of these purveyors of the corporate swill that we all interact with obliviously and mindlessly. They don't care about us. Your life and death and the life and death of your family or the health of your family is not even remotely on their radar. They just want to know how much more extra money they're going to make on their hamburger or on their French fries or what their profit margin is or what you'll buy or what you'll believe. We should be so angry at them. We should never, ever want to step foot in a McDonald's again or a Taco Bell or a Chick-fil-A or any of those places. And again, I'm just picking on them, but there's endless examples in our culture. This is so easy, people. Now we're gonna take questions here, and you're gonna ask me questions, and you're gonna hear me say the same darn thing over and over again. I thought I simplified it with the triangle of disease, and AJ, thank you so much for that website, thetriangleofdisease.com. Thank you, thanks so much for doing that. But remember, it's not even a triangle anymore. We simplified it to just 2 points, right? The digestive system, where the food that we eat is broken down into big chunks, relatively big chunks. And then the metabolic system, where those big chunks are broken down into quantum particles. That's how we run the body. You eat a food, it goes into your digestive system, it gets broken up into big chunks, relatively big chunks. There's relatively big chunks, amino acids, fatty acids, minerals, vitamins, proteins, carbohydrates, etc. They go into the bloodstream. And from that point, they are broken down into their quantum nature, their quantum particles, which enter into cells, mitochondria, which get turned into energy. That's where all health, or the lack thereof, is developed. Health or the lack of health occurs at the level of the digestive system and the metabolic system. Two things. That's it. You wrote a book, Becca. I encourage everybody to read it. I wrote a book with Doc, Metabolic Syndrome, right?
Well, yeah.
Before you wrote the book, would you have believed how many health challenges are related to metabolic syndrome? It's endless. Every single one. Every single one, right? Every single one is related to metabolic syndrome, which itself is preceded by food issues and digestive issues. It couldn't be any easier. This is the best news anybody ever heard. Anybody who's dealing with a chronic degenerative disease or helping serve somebody with a chronic degenerative disease could ever hear. Arthritis, autoimmunity, cancer, heart disease, dementias, movement disorders, whatever. Digestion, food, blood sugar, metabolism. Okay, So let's rock and let's take some questions. And I do have to leave right at 2 o'clock. And by the way, there's a gal.
Okay,
I don't know if what's that gal's name? I forgot her name already. She's good. She told me she's going to be on the call. I'm going to go visit her. I'm going to go do a house call today at two
that's
o'clock.
fantastic.
Pharmacist
You know,
house call.
I
I'm gonna
am
do a call.
really thankful that you brought up and pointed out that leading edge, that cutting edge
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah.
So many people are watching and looking for it and searching for it and
Yeah.
researching.
Yeah.
It's not cutting
It's
edge. I
not
put
cutting
that
edge, right?
for
It's not.
those looking for it. But you just pointed out what I wanted you to point out, that it is not. It's going back to the beginning,
Yes.
folks.
Yes. Nothing cutting
It
edge here.
is nothing cutting edge.
If
Just
something's
think,
cutting edge, it's likely more BS because cutting edge is patentable. What we're talking about, you can't patent. There's no patents on vitamins, minerals, aminos, and fatty acids. There's patents on the tweaks of the vitamins, minerals, and amino acids and fatty acids and on the drugs, but there's no patent on what we're talking about here because it's not cutting edge. It's tried and true.
yep, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much for that intro. It's gonna, there's a lot of information there
Thank
that
you. And
folks.
let me just say one last thing.
Okay.
I'm looking for this gal's, oh, here she is. Sandra Gardner, her name is. Is Sandra Gardner on the call? Do you see Sandy Gardner?
Yes, she is.
Sandy, I'm gonna see you in a little bit. Can Sandy? We'll get her on camera here in a sec. So I was gonna say, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I hate that I have to say this thing to the choir. I hate this that I have to preach to the choir because you guys all agree with me. I want to talk to somebody who doesn't agree with me. So if you got a physician out there that you're seeing who says that, oh, those longevity folks, they're crazy, all those nutcases from Boulder who talk about vitamins and herbs and minerals, etc., they're all crazy and, they don't know what they're talking about. And what medical school did you go to? Where'd you get that from? Dr. Google? Is that where you got your, they make all these jokes about it. I want to talk to one of them on the Zoom call so we can have it out. I did a talk. I know I told a story before, but it's a cool story. I did a talk for, MZ, my friend MZ. He has a radio show, and he's always stirring the pot. He always wants to make controversy and cause problems and cause trouble. Right, Phyllis? You know what I'm talking about? He's always trying to make waves because he makes good radio. So he knew what I thought what I thought about cholesterol and statin drugs, and he had a cardiologist who he respected, who he liked. So he said, you know what, Ben, we're going to get Dr. I don't want to mention the guy's name, but we're going to get him on the air, and we're going to get you, and you're going to have it out. And we talk about statin drugs, we talk about cholesterol. So sure enough, I talked about cholesterol, he talked about cholesterol, started talking, and then it was about an hour. I think it was like a 2-hour conversation we're going to have. And wouldn't you know it, 45 minutes into the conversation, he remembered he had an appointment that he forgot about, and he had to leave.
How convenient.
Oh, would you look at the time? Yeah. And you can get it. Go on internet. It's on. Yeah, it's recorded. You can listen to it. It would be funny if it wasn't so sad because you can't argue with this. Do you know why I give you the mechanisms all the time? You notice I'm giving you the mechanisms. I never say just take this, take that. I give you the mechanisms because they're indisputable. When you hear how the whole thing works, it's indisputable. This is not assertions. This is not just Ben saying take this, take that. I'm showing you how it all happens so you can see for yourself how the disease process ensues and how you can reverse it mechanistically. That's the key. It's the mechanisms. You want to know the mechanisms of the nutrients, the mechanisms of the drugs, the mechanisms of pathology and symptoms, how they all show up so then you can do it. My goal is to eliminate me. I don't want to ever, I want you to do this yourself. I don't want to ever have to do this because we should all do this ourselves. I don't want to be anybody's authority. I want you to be your own authority, and the job of every good healthcare professional should be to get themselves out of the equation, not for you to come back and see them every 3 or 6 months or whatever it is. The goal of every good healthcare professional is to get out of the way. That's my goal, and that's why I'm very serious about showing you how the process ensues so you could take care of yourself because once you figure it out, you're just as smart as me. I happen to know more because I've been studying it, but you guys are just as smart as I am. And with that,
Well, Pharmacist, we have so many people saying that you are on fire. You are their favorite.
all right.
You're the
I'm the
best.
favorite pharmacist.
You are the
I want
favorite
to know who my
pharmacist.
competition is, Becca.
You know what? I can't think of a name that even comes
That's
close.
better. That's more like it.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you're listening.
Yes.
Not just listening, but hearing what is
Right.
being said. It's not just take this, take this, take this, but understanding how the body works, what it needs, so that you understand that you're not stuck in dis-ease and you're not chemical deficient. Pharmacist Ben, let's go to some questions.
Yes.
And first, let's go to Susan. Susan, go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you would like to turn on your video,
Is that Susan Resner?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, that's me. Hi, Ben. Hi,
Susie,
Becca. Okay.
show
All
your
right, now,
pretty face. Show that pretty face,
oh,
Susan.
thank you. I can turn
No,
my video on.
I want to
did
see
put
that
a
pretty
little
face.
makeup on just in case I was going to be.
Susan, I want to see that pretty face.
So I don't have my light on. Okay, hold on. Where am I here? Okay.
There you are, Susan. I haven't seen Susan
Wait,
forever.
oh well, I don't have my little whatever you call that.
You're a beautiful
light on.
woman, so you show that face. Thank you.
Anyway, all right,
Yes.
great. Well, listen, this is a great comedic show too. I mean, this is like, Friday Night Live. I'm having
You
fun,
like that? You like those
guys.
jokes? Do you hear about the guy who evaporated? He's going to be missed.
Okay.
I just heard that today. Oh my gosh.
Don't quit your day. Don't quit your day job.
My girlfriend, I asked my girlfriend when her birthday was. She said March 1st. So I took a walk around the room and asked her again.
I love it. Love it.
All right, go ahead. I'm done.
Well, anyway, I'm almost afraid to ask you this question, but
Yes.
Well, anyway, I have a gentleman who I have started on a really, I think, an excellent protocol about 3 months ago, and he's been on it. Like the Healthy Body Star Pack 2.5, enzymes, ultimate enzymes, glucogel, and extra minerals. Now, so I get this testimony from him today. He says, these products have helped me tremendously. I have got off all my medications and he's strictly going natural. So I'm really excited for him.
That's awesome.
But he's still having an issue with some high blood pressure.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, I know there's other
things
we could add. I mean, but
let's talk about that. Okay.
Okay.
But before I get to that, is this somebody that you solicited? He came to you? Did you meet him in a restaurant or coffee shop? How did he come? How did you come to meet this guy and help him?
Through my website.
He just came to the website.
Yeah, and then we did a consultation where I asked him lots of questions. I asked him about his diet, what was going on with his life and everything, and put together a protocol based on what he was dealing with. And I also I always like to consider people's budgets too.
Absolutely.
Because
100%.
I don't want to be disrespectful of what kind of resources they have. But he's on a good protocol. I mean, he's all the 90. He's addressing the absorption, digestion, food.
Awesome. So the reason I asked you that is because I want everybody to hear this. There are people out there who really need us, and there are people out there who we can help. And so what Susan's talking about is so instructive, because this guy reached out to us. Obviously, he really needed us. He reached out to us, and we get these calls and letters all the time, particularly after we go on a coast to coast or on a podcast or whatever. And then there's those people we can really help. Now, Susan's saying there's still a few little loose ends that we got to tie up. But how long did it take to make a difference where he said, I'm off my a month, 2 months? How long?
Well, he already started experiencing great results even within that first 30 days, but now it's been 3 months. And
guys, so listen, Susan, that's the Lord's work. If you don't do that, Susan, for this guy, you're depriving him of quality of life, of longevity, and it's almost like you're violating the commandment to love your neighbor. It's almost like when we don't talk about this, when we don't help people by taking a stand, because that's what this really is. It's like taking a stand. We're depriving people. It's not fair to people to hold back. That's why I do all these podcasts as much as I can do. I do them every day. That's why it's so important that everybody gets out there and participates, because yes, it's great to make money. We're all doing this. We want to make a living and we want to make money. But in addition to that, our successes can be measured by this gentleman. Can you put a price on what you did for this gentleman, on how well he's going to feel, how well he feels, how much better he feels, and how many years you've added to his life? There's no monetary value to that. That transcends anything that comes from money. So please, the reason I wanted to bring that up is so everybody can hear the power of these ideas, in case anybody even has an inkling of doubt about the potential that we have for helping people, helping make a huge life-changing difference in people's lives. Now, high blood pressure. So high blood pressure is exemplifies the first, what I call a first principle of healing, which is where you see the problem is not where the problem begins. You have to go upstream. One of the reasons, among several reasons, for the failure of the medical model is they try to treat the problem where they see it. With blood pressure, hypertension, you have a classic example of having to go upstream. There's a lot of reasons why blood pressure goes up. The fastest way to drop the blood pressure, and the main reason why the blood pressure goes up, is because the body is in duress. Blood pressure, elevated blood pressure, is a way the body, a mechanism the body has for getting more blood to the organs. It's like a garden hose. If you want to get more water to your lawn, you turn up the pressure. You turn on the faucet. Well, that's what the body does. It turns on the faucet. So the question becomes, why does the body feel like it has to do that? And there's several reasons. Number one reason, or not necessarily the most important reason, but one of the reasons is duress, emergency. Under emergency conditions, the body, the brain, will turn up the pressure. And we can see this in something called white coat hypertension. Have you heard of this condition, white coat hypertension? White coat hypertension is a hypertension, high blood pressure, that's associated with doctors' offices, called white coat hypertension. And these are people who have hypertension when they're in the doctor's office, but then they go home and they don't have hypertension anymore. Why do you have white coat hypertension? Is because your body is scared. It's in fear. It's in fight or flight mode. Think about it. If your brain perceives an emergency, it's going to want to send more blood to the muscles. It's going to make the heart pump harder. So the number one reason, or not the number one reason, but the first reason we're going to talk about why blood pressure goes up is because of emergency. So the first thing you want to do if you have high blood pressure, and you can exhibit this yourself, is calm the body down. Have you ever been in a hot tub, Susan?
Yes.
Did you ever stand up quickly in the hot tub and you feel a little dizzy and woozy?
I did, yes.
Why does that happen?
Blood's rushing to vital organs, maybe?
Close. When you stand up out of a hot tub or a hot bath, your blood pressure drops. You're feeling the blood pressure drop from the hot water. Hot water vasodilates. Warm water opens everything up, and then you stand up and your blood pressure is dropped. So right away, you have one of the fastest, quickest, safest, most benign mechanisms for lowering your blood pressure: warm water. When was the last time a doctor wrote a prescription for a hot tub? I always make this joke, but it's true. You vote for me for president, every American gets a hot tub in their backyard. That's the best health care you'll ever have, is a hot tub. Or you don't need a hot tub, but a warm bath. A warm bath drops your blood pressure like a stone, and anybody doesn't believe me, if you have a blood pressure cuff, take your blood pressure before you take a warm bath, sit in the warm bath for 10, 15, 20 minutes, get out and take your blood pressure again. You'll see it drops. What does that tell you? Why does it happen? Because when you're in warm water, the body relaxes. It's funny because, guys don't know this, women know this. Women are in touch with their bodies more than guys are. So when a woman has a hard day, Susan, when you have a hard day, you got stressed, your boss yelled at you, your husband yelled, whatever it is, what do? What do you say? I'm going to go do what?
Get a drink.
No, not get a drink. Maybe I asked the wrong person. All right. No, you're going to take a bath. I'm going to go sit in the tub. I'm going to go relax in the bath. Women know this. Men don't know. You never hear a man say that, but you hear women say that all the time. I'm going to go sit in a warm bath, right? Because when you're in a warm bath, your body thinks it's back in the last place it was ever safe. What's the last place the body was ever safe? Completely safe.
In the womb.
Bingo. Bingo. Your body thinks it's in the womb again. You're telling the body it's the womb. In fact, if you really get into a pinch, God forbid, something really horrible happens to you, you'll do this automatically. Or if you're in really, really terrible, terrible pain, you'll do this automatically. You'll go into a fetal position, right? Why are you going into a fetal position? The fetal position tells the body via the musculature it's back in the womb. Just going into fetal position will lower the blood pressure. Taking a warm bath will lower the blood pressure. Activating the vagus nerve. You probably are starting to hear, you're going to hear more and more about the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the largest nerve in the body. It activates all the internal organs are activated by the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is your rest and digest nerve, your relaxation nerve. It relaxes everything in the body, activates the parasympathetic nervous system. So learning to relax the body is the first thing you want to do. Lots of ways to do it. Gratitude will do it. Slow, deep breathing will do it. Spirituality, plugging into God will do it. Meditating will do it. Massage will do it. Therapeutic touch will do it. Loving a baby or a dog, or that why they give PTSD dogs, emotional support dogs, because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It lowers your blood pressure. It builds your immune system. It activates your digestive system. All of this, learning to activate the relaxation response, number one. Secondly, when the body is inflamed, the blood can't make it through. Inflammation is like an airbag. It blocks everything. It clogs everything. It's good in the short run because it creates a cushion for a damaged area. But in the long run, with chronic inflammation, the blood can't make it through to the organs. So what does the body do? It turns up the pressure. So reducing inflammation is the second strategy. How do you reduce inflammation? First 2 points in the triangle of disease. Blood inflammation, blood sugar, elevated blood sugar is one of the major causes of inflammation in the body. Blood inflammation, tissue inflammation. And this is why blood sugar issues, dysglycemia, diabetes. I hesitate to say diabetes because you don't have to be diagnosed, but diabetes, messed up blood sugar is associated with high blood pressure, hypertension, because the blood can't make it through to the organs. Any inflammation will block it. Toxicity from the blood. All disease is cell disease. All cell disease is preceded by dirty blood. Dirty blood is sluggish blood. It's coagulated blood. It's sticky blood, viscous blood. It doesn't move to the tissues and the organs effectively, to the cells effectively, so the body turns up the pressure. So the relaxation response, number one, activate the parasympathetic nervous system, lower your blood sugar, and then work on the digestive system. Leaky gut, all the digestive support. Now, you said this guy already has all these issues. He's already working that way. Then there's nutrients that you can specifically use that vasodilate, and deficiencies in these nutrients will cause vasoconstriction. There's a very important balance between calcium and magnesium. Calcium, we have plenty of calcium. There's calcium everywhere, mostly from dairy and cheese. But magnesium, not so much, because magnesium comes from vegetables. You ask most people would they rather have a pizza or a piece of broccoli, they're going to say pizza, right? Most of us we get the calcium foods, but we don't get the magnesium foods. Magnesium is your relaxation mineral. It opens everything up, and magnesium deficiency is very common, maybe the most common of all the mineral deficiencies. So magnesium, your osteomag, veggies, anything with magnesium, 1,000, 2,000 milligrams a day. Magnesium relaxes everything. In fact, the number one problem with magnesium is it relaxes your bowels, which means laxative effect. Women, by the way, are especially prone to magnesium deficiency because in the blood, you lose magnesium in the blood every month. Magnesium is used by the body to process sugar as part of the sugar processing chemistry. So the more sugar you're eating, the more deficient you're going to be in magnesium. Niacin, vitamin B3, another very powerful vasodilator, opens up blood vessels. In fact, niacin opens up blood vessels so much that some people will get all itchy and red and hot. What's that called? The niacin flush. The niacin flush is your visual manifestation or observation of lowering blood pressure, vasodilation. Niacin, vitamin B3 is also used by the sugar processing system. So the more sugar you eat, the more deficient you're going to be in niacin as well. Niacin is arguably the most important of all the vitamins because it's the only vitamin that your body will actually make under deficiency states, deficiency conditions. Omega-3 essential fatty acids also vasodilating, also activate the relaxation response. Omega-6s and omega-3s are in balance. Many of us are getting way more omega-6s than omega-3s. So omega-3s help restore the omega-6 to omega-3 balance, and they can help lower blood pressure. Coenzyme Q10, another nutrient for lowering blood pressure. All your sugar metabolizing nutrients, chromium, vanadium, selenium, those all have vasodilating effects. One of the all-time great vasodilators is plain old vitamin C. Your CFX, your Beyond Tangy Tangerine, all have anti-hypertensive benefits. There's so many more nutrients that you could use. And I also have to say, while I'm mentioning niacin and magnesium and CoQ10 and omega-3 fatty acids, niacin, vitamin B3, I forgot to mention thiamine, vitamin B1, also very important for the circulatory system. It's important not to focus on the individual nutrients. And this is one of the beautiful aspects of Youngevity and Dr. Wallach's brilliance, is that he recognized, and Youngevity recognized, that the nutrients come as a team. And just like, in baseball, there's no most important position. They're all important. And in an orchestra, there's no most important instrument. They're all important. And when it comes to nutrition, there's no most important nutrient. They're all important. You need them all. And that's why this gal would do well to get on the healthy brain and heart pack, or the healthy blood sugar pack, or both, and then throw in the extra nutrients that we just talked about, osteomag, the ultimate niacin, ultimate EFAs. Those are part of the Healthy Start Pack. The sweeties, anything that helps with blood sugar. There's a whole slew of things that you can use. Activate the relaxation response, work on the blood sugar system and the digestive system, clean the blood, and get on the healthy blood sugar pack, healthy brain and heart pack, and all the accessory nutrients. And if you want a quick way to do it, jump in a hot tub. Or also slow, deep, rhythmic breathing. Everybody should be doing slow, deep, rhythmic breathing every day, by the way. Breathing exercises.
You're on fire.
And by the way, breathing exercises are interesting because you can relax the body with breathing exercises, but you can also stimulate the body with breathing exercises. You can actually give yourself energy with breathing exercises. Was that you telling me that, Rebecca? The breath of fire. The breath of fire. Yeah, you can, exactly. Yep. You can actually energize your body if you're feeling like you're falling asleep when you're driving. I think you told that story, right? Yeah. You can actually energize the body. The breath is the most powerful way to access what's called the autonomic nervous system, which is where your fight or flight nervous system and your rest and digest nervous system are located. They call it the autonomic nervous system, but you can think of it like the automatic nervous system. The fastest way to hack into that is with the breath.
All right. Well, okay. So Pharmacist Ben, you mentioned several different individual nutrients and how we can't just focus on an individual nutrient. And AJ did a poll out on YouTube where it's asking what's the world's greatest invention. The wheel got 0%.
Yeah.
The lever, 17%.
Okay.
Youngevity supplements, 82%.
All right. I stand corrected. The lever second.
83. Yeah.
So the wheel got 0?
Yeah, the wheel got 0. So I was like,
can you imagine else for the wheel?
Yeah. But whatever, let's move on.
Yes.
So we have several questions up, and folks, if you were invited by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with them with your questions to help you find what it is needed to help you on a better health journey. Now, first question that didn't get asked last time is, what supplements break a fast, or which ones can we take while fasting?
You can take all your supplements when you're fasting, unless sometimes they'll rag on your stomach a little bit if you don't have any food in your stomach, but there's no reason not to take supplements. A fast is really a calorie fast. When you're fasting, you're keeping calories out of the system, because calories are where the body goes, or where the body really goes through the most stress, is in trying to keep the calories balanced. When you put calorie means heat, calor, heat. So when you eat calories, the body gets hot, and so it has to mobilize its biochemistry to pull the sugar out of the blood and to kind of calm everything down. Supplements aren't going to do that. There's no calories to supplements, with some exceptions. There's a few calories probably in your ultimate EFAs, but for the most part, it's calories that you're fasting from. You can do your supplements. That's not a problem to do your supplements. It wouldn't hurt you to miss a day from your supplements, but as far as the fast goes, it's not going to disturb your fast.
All right. Thank you so much for that. And next, we're going to go over to Ruth Ellen. Ruth Ellen, please unmute yourself. What questions are you bringing in for Pharmacist Ben?
Hello, Ben. You are on fire, and I love it.
All right.
So a lady named Debbie had called, and she has neurovascular wet AMD in the right eye. She's getting the Vastin shot in her eye, and they want to switch to a stronger shot so that she doesn't have to get it as often. But the side effects on that are crazy. And then she said, asking also taking vitamin A, one soft gel every 3 days. They're telling her she can't take it more than that.
Okay. So first of all, I can't help you with what the doctor says. You know, I don't even want to get into that. It's just,
Of course.
it's just ludicrous. That's first of all. Second of all, when you hear, you said neurovascular AMD, wet type, and then what did you say after that?
In her right eye.
In her right eye. Okay. What do you think? Well, first of all, what is AMD stand for?
I don't know what it technically stands for, but
What is it?
it's macular degeneration. I don't remember what the A
What do you
stands
think the most important word is?
Degeneration.
Is it macula? What do you think the most important word is? Degeneration.
Degeneration, yes.
Well, it's happening. She's
Yeah.
degenerating. AMD stands for age-related macular degeneration.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So it doesn't matter where the degeneration is occurring. She's degenerating.
Mhm.
She's breaking down. What's the only disease, AJ? Where's AJ? He's
My
going.
body's falling apart disease.
Yeah, she's falling apart. This happens. This is how we die. This is how we break down. This is how we die. This is how everything happens. We break down. It doesn't
Right.
matter where it is. The Vastin is an anti-inflammatory. It's a fancy, they call it a biologic. It's a fancy version of the old steroids. Old steroids used to knock out the immune system. Around the turn of the 21st century, late 20th century, they figured out how to shoot down specific inflammatory factors. And they use genetic technology to create antibodies to shoot down the inflammatory molecules, and they call them biologics. They're fancy schmancy anti-inflammatories. They're not helping her macula.
Mm-mm.
They're not helping her degeneration. Are they
No.
not helping her macular degeneration, her degenerative condition, because they're stupid? No. Are they not helping her degeneration because they want to hurt her? They're evil, they're mean? No. It's not in their skill set. You're going to a carpenter to fix your car. You're going to a mechanic to build cabinets. They can't do it. So if you have a degenerative process, all you got to do is figure out how to regenerate. And that involves two directions. Number one, what's causing the breakdown? And number two, what can you use to build up? You know, Ruth Allen, you have a business, right? You're in the longevity business. There's two sides to the business. Anybody who has a business, there's two sides to the business. There's the money you're spending and the money you're making. It doesn't matter how much you spend,
No.
and it doesn't matter how much you make. It matters the combination. You could be spending $1 million, but if you're making $1,000,001, you're going to be in the black. You could be spending $1, but if you're only making 99 cents, you're going to be in the red.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're making and what you're spending. It's the net. In the body, it's like a business. The body business, in the when you're spending money, the body's breaking down so it can release energy. The body breaks down to release energy. That's why it breaks down under healthy conditions. We call the breakdown process catabolism with a C, catabolism. The buildup process we call anabolism. Buildup. Catabolism plus plus anabolism, breakdown plus buildup equals metabolism. You want to be net positive. You want to be in the red. Your little 5-year-old son or grandson is in the red. I'm sorry, in the black, not in the red, in the black. You look at him, you like want to pinch his beautiful plump cheeks. You can't believe how in the black he is. He's so beautiful. Grandma, not so much. That's in the red. Macular degeneration means the body's breaking down in the eyes. Doesn't matter where. This woman does not only have macular degeneration, guaranteed.
Okay.
There's other parts of her body that are breaking down as well. Obviously, the eyes are what she's going to notice, most important part probably. Is she on the call?
She's not.
Okay. Now, I'll get to the eyes here in a second, but I want to talk about the degenerative process. Would it surprise you if I told you that dysglycemia and macular degeneration go hand in hand?
I would not be shocked.
Of course not.
I would not be shocked at all.
So the doctors aren't going to do this. She's going to the eye doctor. The doctors treat the organ that they see, the part of the body that they see. They don't treat upstream. So first of all, this woman needs to be treated like a diabetic. Healthy blood sugar pack, everything with her blood sugar. Oh, but I had my blood tested. I'm not a diabetic. They said my blood sugar is normal. Horse hockey. Anybody who's symptomatic with a degenerative process is dysglycemic almost by definition. And in fact, anybody who's an American subsisting on the standard American diet and standard American lifestyle who's past a certain age is almost by definition dysglycemic. The tests are irrelevant. Likely she's got digestive health issues as well, because that's the first 2 points of the triangle of disease. So you got to work on that as well. Food diary. You want to focus on what her symptoms are. So if she has an upline that she's working with, the upline needs to ask all of these questions. All uplines ask these questions. What is your digestive system like? All right, do you have regular bowel movements? Do you have food allergies, food intolerances? And don't only go by what people tell you right away. I can't tell you the amount of times I've talked to people and they say, no, everything's fine. And then as I'm continuing to talk to them, oh yeah, I have this, oh yeah, that. Not because they're dumb, but because things go under the radar. So first principle, you just accept as a premise, when you have a degenerative condition, you got dirty blood. When you have dirty blood, you've got a digestive issue and a blood sugar issue. Just work forward from that point.
Okay.
The eyes are a little different, however, because the eyes are subjected to forces from light that the rest of the body isn't. So with the eyes, there's certain things you could do that don't apply to the rest of the body, and that involves the macula itself, which contains pigments. And so using pigments is also important for the macula, for the eyes, particularly the macula, which is where the pigments are. And so using things like your Vision FX, your Occutive, we had a product, I don't know if we still have, Becca, help me out, called the Ultimate, it had pigments in it. It was like fruit powders. I forgot what the heck they called it. It was pigment powders. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, there was
a powder that contained pigments. What is it?
Yeah. There was a combination of fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, but it was the pigments, the colors. And I forgot what the heck it was called. But anything with pigments. Also, when you can eat vegetables to get pigments too. Tomatoes, squash, reds and yellows, especially for the macula. Reds and yellows, like I think watermelon, peaches, squash, pumpkins, what other, tomatoes, anything with reds and yellow, carrots, obviously. I don't know why they would tell her not. Is that it? That might be it. Yeah, 18 daily. That might be it. Yeah, all the pigments for the macula. So the macula, you have an extra place you could work. And also, by the way, there's certain nutrients that are also very important for electrical energy in the eye. The amino acid taurine, which you'll find in your TMR shake. Omega-3 fatty acids, that's your ultimate EFA, and ultimate EFA plus. Ultimate selenium, ultimate MSM, CFX, zinc FX. These are all going to be helpful for electrical conductivity in the eye. See, with the eye, you've got a little bit, you can work a little more with a more targeted way with the eye, because the eye is subject to forces that no other part of the body is, that is force from the sunlight forces.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And you're right. People don't know they have a digestive problem because we get it all the time. And
yes, later on they'll remember and they'll come to it because things go under the radar. That's why a food diary is so important, writing things down.
Thank you so much. I know we have a lot of questions.
Yeah, we have so many questions in only 7 minutes.
We're gonna do a bright bite. Me and AJ are gonna do a bright bite on a Monday. So if anybody's got their question answered, you should join us on Monday. AJ, do you post that?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, let's keep your eye. Where do you post it, AJ?
If they sign up for the email, they'll get it, but they get a live notification on YouTube and Rumble. We'll, sign up for the newsletter.
All right.
Yes. So going back to the fasting, Mr. T said I had horrific autoimmune skin inflammation 10 years ago. Steroids knocked it down the symptoms, but it came right back. After the MD told me absolutely not to fast, I fasted for 3 days and 100% got rid of it. So that's absolutely fantastic.
Mr. T, tell everybody, Mr. T. Who's Mr.
Yes.
T?
Yes. So Let's go over to Phyllis, who has had her hand up for questions that came towards the beginning of the show. Phyllis, what questions are you bringing in today?
Yes, a couple from YouTube, but Ben, you were on the Saturday special with Michael, right? About the cholesterol,
It was,
the debate.
I think, I'm not sure if it's the Saturday, was it do you know who I'm talking about?
Well, that's typically when he has his,
I think it might have been the Saturday special. I'm not really remember. It's like 20 years ago. I'm not really remembering.
people can go to ksco.com and do a search for Saturday special.
Yeah, the guy's name was Ben Potkin, Dr. Ben Potkin. Look up. Yeah, you can actually enter. I think it's on Google. Ben Fuchs, Ben Potkin, statin drugs. Look that up, AJ, will you?
We'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
how do you, Phyllis stays exactly the same. I've known Phyllis for, I don't know, 25 years probably. Phyllis looks exactly the same. I don't know how she does that.
Thank you so much. Longevity, fountain of youth, I swear. All right, Olga wants to know about low stomach acid and the alternative to fix a stomach ulcer versus using antibiotics.
All right, if you have an ulceration, you probably want an antibiotic. There's bacteria that are involved. And it's tricky if you have an ulceration to use things like apple cider vinegar, betaine HCl, because they're gonna burn. You're gonna feel them, and that's really how you want to support stomach acid. So I would probably be using an antibiotic for H. pylori, and that's usually what causes ulcerations is the H. pylori bacteria. But you want to make sure you're using probiotics, your ultimate nightly essence, as well as the ultimate microbiome with the antibiotic. You're taking the antibiotic, and even if you're not taking the antibiotic, because that can help balance out the H. pylori. If you have leaky gut, you want to correct that. And then if you really want to take, and you probably should take care of it, because gastric bleeding is nothing, it's a serious thing, I would be using an antibiotic. There's really no natural way to kill H. pylori like that. You can try colloidal silver. Nothing's going to kill like an antibiotic, but make sure that you're correcting any of the dysbiosis that will probably ensue from the antibiotic, messed up gut bacteria, that is, with the ultimate, with the nightly essence. And then there's a couple other ones we have now, I noticed, Becca, a couple other probiotic products.
Yes, so from the Prohoba line, there is the Lactobacillus. No? Oh, AJ's telling me no on
You're
that
saying
one.
no. So, well, nightly essence is great. That's my favorite probiotic. That has enzymes in it, and that's a great product. Also, if she does want to use a milder form of stomach acid, betaine HCl, which is in the ultimate enzymes, can help. And you might want to try the ultimate enzymes to restore stomach acid. For folks who don't have an ulcer and really want to get some lower the pH of their stomach, and they suspect low stomach acid, and if you have heartburn, GERD, or any kind of skin problems or belching, bloating after meals, it's a good possibility that you're not processing foods because of not making enough stomach acid. Apple cider vinegar is the way to go. I also encourage people to drink Beyond Tangy Tangerine with your meals. Beyond Tangy Tangerine will also is acidic, and that can also support stomach acidity.
Becca, do we have time for one more?
He's only got 2 minutes, Ben.
One quickie.
Oh.
If we have
Okay, Gemma's husband has recurring shingles affecting his vision, the right side of his body.
That's
Should he get the
awful.
vaccine?
I can't tell you what to do that way, but I can tell you that shingles is a sign of a compromised immune system, and the vaccine is not going to help that. So you want to treat, and shingles in the eye is unspeakable. I can't even imagine anything more agonizing than that. So the vaccine's not going to help. It's not going to be like you take the vaccine and then you don't have any more shingles. The vaccine's for future shingles. So what you want to regard shingles, kids don't get shingles. Shingles happens when the immune system is compromised. People who are under stress get shingles. People who are on medication or have multiple chronic illnesses get shingles. Elderly people get shingles. Shingles is a sign of a body that's in duress. The immune system becomes suppressed under conditions of bodily duress. So that's really what you want to focus on. Really the same things that you would focus on for any other health challenge: cleaning the blood, digestive, calming the body down, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, stabilizing the blood sugar. It's not, remember, where you see the problem is not where the problem begins. The shingles virus is an opportunistic virus. It waits for us to become weak. When we're strong, you don't get the shingles virus. When you're weak, the opportunistic virus, meaning it's waiting for an opportunity, pounces. So building up your strength with the Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients, the TMR Shake, the digestive support, working all the digestive support strategies we talk about, keeping toxins out of the blood, using digestive supplements, and then stabilizing the blood sugar, keeping the blood sugar stable. That's your main strategy for shingles or any other immune problem. Shingles is an opportunistic virus. It's an immune system issue.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. God bless everybody. Sandra, I'll see you in a little bit. And then Monday for Bright Bites.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, Pharmacist Ben. Let's give it up for Ben. And as we look back at that poll on YouTube, people are still putting in their opinions and votes. The wheel has 12%, the lever has 12%, and longevity supplements 76%.
Awesome.
So,
all
and
right.
I haven't voted, so that's going to bump that longevity supplements again.
All right.
So,
I'll probably vote for longevity supplements too between.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so
Bye,
much,
everybody.
Pharmacist Ben. We'll see you again on Monday. And as my co-hosts come up on the screen with us, I just want to do a complete shout out for them because they are doing such a fantastic job with a fire-packed show. Lots of notes going into that chat, lots of questions coming in. I apologize, we did not get to all the questions. We have been saving the questions so that we could get to them through the Monday show with Pharmacist Ben and pick up some extra time with him as we answer more of your questions here on the Daily with Doc show or Pharmacist Ben Bites with AJ. So folks, if you want to, if we didn't get to your question or you have questions, email us questions@dailywithdoc.com. The other one, you're not going to get a reply because it doesn't exist. questions@dailywithdoc.com. And if you have had a great experience with using Dr. Wallach's protocol or the program that has been shared with you using longevity products as a solution from your coach or friend or health advocate, and you'd like to share your testimonial with us, please email us testimonials, AJ, correct me, @dailywithdoc.com, and we will set up a time where we can talk to you and get that testimonial documented in a way that's not going to shut us down by the FDA. That rhymed. So folks, thank you so much again for joining us. And don't forget to subscribe if you are watching out on YouTube or Rumble or Facebook or any of the other 15 platforms that we are on. Make sure that you subscribe so that you get notifications when we go live or when we add more content. That is a tool to put in your toolbox. And if you would like to register or sign up for our newsletter, go to dailywithdoc.com and you'll find where you can sign up for the newsletter there and not miss a beat of communication, including our newsletters that are coming up. Just want to do a real quick shout out. Ruth Ellen, your hand is up.
It is. Carrie is asking if Ben Bites is at the Zoom address. So AJ, give them the address that Ben's Bites would be at. I believe it is live.dailywithdoc.com. And please subscribe to the newsletter. And Carrie, keep an eye on the chats that we use in Messenger and different areas like that. We will be posting the show hopefully the day before. You should see postings, but it would be live.dailywithdoc.com. And AJ, what time did you agree with Ben?
That's going to be 10 p.m. Eastern.
10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Sorry, Pacific time. That's all. Carry
Awesome.
on.
Yes, thank you so much for that. And folks, if you're on Facebook and you want to join us live or even watch us live, we do stream on Critical Health, not Critical Health News, but Critical Health on Facebook. And also there is a Daily with Doc Facebook page. So make sure that you are sending a like or sending a friend request for either of those pages. Also on, well, several different pages, because so many of us want to make sure that our communities are getting the information as well, because we truly do have a heart to help others. That's why we are in this. My mission and ministry is to make sure that anybody that hears the sound of my voice knows that there are solutions that they can do as an empowered individual to create a better health journey. Even if it's like 1% every day, it can create a huge impact in a positive direction in your life, both physically, mentally, emotionally. And for those of you who choose to share the program and get a thank you check, financially. So get back with the person and share this program with you. If there's no one to thank, give our call team a call at 855-949-3377. Now, on the show with us today, we have, and boy, these ladies, I'm going to do you both together because you've been tag teaming it with the chat, putting lots of valuable information into the chat here in the live Zoom. That's only available in the live Zoom. And for HIPAA reasons, no, it is not available to be downloaded. So we want to make sure that we maintain the integrity of that. Thank you to Marilyn and Phyllis. So as they both put in information, it keeps you as the Zoom viewer able to keep up with the notes that are being taken, or the words that are being spoken by the notes that they're taking. They do that for you. And we also have Ruth Ellen Sanchez, my executive production manager, and she helps to keep everything flowing, puts everything together that gets pushed out to those different platforms that if you're not here live with us, you're listening to what she has been pushing out through her amazing computer system and great Wi-Fi. And we also have AJ, who is responsible for helping us to get out on all these different media platforms. So I'm super thankful for him and a lot of the landing pages and websites that are coming out that we're going to be announcing in future newsletters. So thanks, AJ, for all that you do. And we have Albert, who is letting people in and making sure that people are getting into the room and keeping an eye on things, as we want to make sure we keep this as a G-rated, family-friendly program. So thanks again, everybody, for joining us. My name is Becca Dukes. As a certified naturopathic practitioner, certified holistic health coach, and the director of student services for the Institute of Holistic Health, where we really care about humans. I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to check out more about our health coaching program by going to coach.dailywithdoc.com. You can find more about that. Yes, there is a payment plan, and it's the most affordable one on the market to start with. So folks, have a fantastic day, fantastic weekend, and we will see you next time on Daily with Doc. Until then, bye for now. And also, before you go, if you want to watch this again before, would it be before Monday? You can go to live.dailywithdoc.com, or you can do that anytime to catch our most recent episode, whether it's dailywithdoc.com or Daily with Doc and Becca, or Pharmacist Ben Bites with Pharmacist Ben and AJ. Now, have a great day. Bye for now.
Everybody.
Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have the founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.